Welcome to part 2 of the SpongeBob Squarepants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman review. If you have not watched part 1, don't be a silly. Go and watch part 1 because, well, I'm French. You should listen to a French guy. 3 years later. What? Ooh. Haha, missed. Oh! Hello there, Sean the Extra Guy here. Welcome to Retro in Review. Yep, that's what we're calling these videos now. Figured we needed a name for them eventually.
So you're finally getting part 2 done, are you? It's been, what, nearly 3 years?
Yeah, I know, I took forever with this, and it's beyond a joke at this point. And I deserve to be flagellated about the streets, saying I'm a naughty numbnuts for 99 hours straight.
That sounded extremely gay.
I was just gonna say you deserve to swab the deck for 8 hours, but okay then.
I don't know about you, but I get flatulent whenever I eat beef black bean burritos. What?
You serious? What the hell happened to your head?
I don't know. I woke up this morning without it.
Alright, well I guess that's gonna be a thing for the rest of the video. Let's just get on with this shit. What? Magic.
So, got the new copy of the game. It's been way too fucking long since the first part. I know, I should be ashamed. Let's just get on with this. We are ready for Chum World. And get this, it loads. No freezing, no spontaneous combustion, no organic, autonomous, orgasmic ornaments are hindering my progression towards 100% now. But wait, hang on, listen. It's different music.
Wow, I know it took us half the game to get us different music for a level, but here it is, folks. Actually, it kind of reminds me of the Witcher World level music from Banjo-Tooie, so it's got that going for it, I suppose.
And it's actually fitting music for a circus clown carnival world, and the level reflects that musical theme with its rides and attractions decorating the different areas. The big top tent being something of a centerpiece for the world, which, by the way, what are these clowns? They're anglerfish, and yes, we faced off against one, briefly, which, okay, yeah, they're terrifying, and I don't exactly want to encounter one of these things in a dark place. And I suppose if you want some sort of scary enemy, then I guess they fit, but isn't this such a missed opportunity to use clownfish as the clownfish? You know what I'm saying, right? Surely I can't be the only one that's thought about this. But seriously though, fuck these clowns. You can always hear them walking about with their honking. But as long as you have your jellyfish net out and you don't stand too close, they won't try to take a bite out of your ass. Of course, like I said, this world is divided up into several areas, one of them being the big top like I mentioned, and this is probably the most creative of the levels in the game, with a lot of the rides factoring into the platforming you're going to be doing, and some little challenges here and there, including a reef blower mini golf game, which I'll explain soon. To start off, you'll be at the docks, an area with a few different challenges dotted about that earn you ladder tiles and access to the big top, and the clownfish are the ones that give you these little challenges to complete. These guys don't attack you on sight unlike the others, so you don't have to worry about being touched inappropriately by a fucked up Ronald McDonald fish. I think. So the first challenge you may find, since it's really close to the entrance, is a target shooting challenge, which we need the Mermaid Man outfit for. It's simple enough, just throw water balls at the targets, and doing this, he apparently will walk away from his post and let us into the big top. Whatever, it's an excuse to use the Mermaid Man outfit again, other than getting rid of the unreasonably hostile honkers. You know what, come to think of it, where did Plankton get the funds to hire all these people anyway? Actually, whose soul did Plankton have to sacrifice to be able to even build a theme park based on his failed Chum Bucket restaurant? When Plankton was going to build a second Chum Bucket in Goo Lagoon, he needed SpongeBob to clear the beach for him. And even then, how was he going to build a second location for a failed restaurant? Did Plankton Plankton hire his thousands of inbred cousins as slave labor to build this place? In fact, where did he build this? Did Plankton take over another location? It's not Glove World, which is an actual theme park in the show's canon. Why didn't the devs use that as the basis? It would have made more sense and an entirely new place altogether, making me question the logistics of all this. I know I'm getting sidetracked and everything, and I don't mean to be. Look, it's only just dawning on me, and I don't even know why I'm fixated on this. It's not like SpongeBob has set-in-stone lore. But look, there are certain rules within the canon that make this seem implausible without sufficient explanation. You see, it's... Alright, you know, I gotta stop. Before I go on a 2-minute tirade about this whole thing. I barely even started this review, and I've already shit the bed. So, with the challenges in this area, we've got hole plugging again, similar to the acorns in the tree dome, except with bouncy beach balls, and you've got a moving anchor. And the final one is literally just ground-pounding targets to blow up an inflatable musclefish. That's it. Not exactly riveting stuff when the concept is something from a Mario Party minigame, but at least the animation of the inflation looks funny. Each one earns you a letter tile, and then of course I do my usual coin collecting, and totally not blind any whatsoever. There's the jellyfish, of course, and thank God the music doesn't change. Not like this carnival music is spectacular, but it's better than the music I've been hearing non-stop no matter where I was. The starting area itself is fine enough, it serves its purpose, and I don't really have any complaints about it. The platforming is fine, you've got a kiddie coaster here, some tricky jumps on barrels, all to collect the doubloons scattered around. So far, my first impressions for this level are better than the previous ones. That's not saying much, but hey, I don't dislike it. Now to move on to another area, and this place, like the previous one, is full of different kinds of rides which factor into the platforming and the collecting of tons of doubloons here, including some letter tiles and, yes, jellyfish too. I don't know why, but I kind of like this area. It's simple, it's not overly big, and the set pieces are nice and creative. This flaming plankton boat is... I just don't know what the hell. Seriously, thinking about it, how much was the personalized plankton boat, and is this an actual boat or is it a track-based ride? What even is this spinning ride? How do people actually remain on it? Do you have to sit on it, or do you lay down on your stomach and hold on for dear life? How much does it cost to run this place? How much does Plankton pay these goddamn clowns? I'm sorry. Look, I realize I'm having a rhetorical conversation with myself with questions that have never be fucking answered.
Hey, shit for brains. You gonna explain at any point why we're in a different house?
What are you talking about, dude? We've always been here.
Seriously? You're not gonna address this shit?
You alright, dude? I'm gonna call a doctor?
You know, I'm a certified shrink. Hey, you motherfuckers remember it, right? Good. And it's not just me. You know what? I'll just be here, alone, content in the fact I just got fucking Mandela affected. There's no such thing as the Mandela effect.
Oh, I remember having some Mandela at an Indian restaurant.
That's not Indian, you barnacle head.
I think you'll find you mean masala, Buzzy boy.
It was too spicy for me. It was hotter on the way out than it was on the way in.
Chum Putt time. Never heard of Chum Putt before? Well, neither have I, but remember the garbage blowing challenge in downtown? Well, it's basically that. This time, it's an exciting game of bowling a ball into a target with a little flag of North Korea flying over it. There are 9 of these things you have to blow your ball onto. The first couple are about as challenging as kindergarten classes. The worst you'll have to contend with is penny fish-wise here. But then after this plankton-faced bridge you bring down by blowing the windmill and timing your ball low through the teeth just right, You know, I didn't intend for this, but saying all this out of context probably sound not PG, you know what I'm saying? Then you've got this section with the pistons here moving back and forth, and I actually managed to get the ball through first time. It touched the goddamn flag, but then it fell into the sludge, or went down the drain as you can see here, and this is where the challenge really kicked up, because every time this happens, you have to go back down to where the drain ends, and blow your ball all the way back up to the pistons again. Now I got lucky before, sort of, but I tried again to get the fucking thing through, and I failed. This part truly is the Dark Souls of Reblower mini golf, because for fuck's sake, I couldn't recreate what I did before the first time around. But at the very least, there is a way around it. I kinda didn't want to resort to it, because firstly, I wanted to challenge myself, and secondly, I kinda thought you wouldn't be able to do it. But it got to the point where I stopped caring. I think maybe this was put here as a way for the stage designer to get past his own bullshit and testing. There wasn't even any barriers preventing me. This was 100% intended. And after that bullshit, everything is pretty straightforward. There's nothing too complex, unless you don't know how a toy windmill works still. There's not much in the way of danger, and there's very little to screw up on unless you really aren't careful in this bridge bit. You've got more pistons this time moving up and down, and then after that it's just a few inclines and a little bridge to the 3 remaining flags. It's honestly a big contrast to before. Anyway, of course, once you've gotten the ball to the final flag, you get the letter tile. And then it's on to collecting any doubloons I missed before, doing the chum putt, which was a good way to explore the level before I did the minigame. And then of course, the jellyfish. Can't forget about those. And yet again, I am enjoying the fact that the music doesn't change to the disguised satanic hell music that is the jellyfishing gear song. Of course, Chum Part is mostly about the reef blower physics, which barely ever gets utilized in the game, with some collection elements spread throughout that level. But the next bit, well, it's the set piece of the circus/carnival world, the Big Top. So this place is kind of a platforming nightmare, mainly because it's a vertical level more so than anything, and it has all the hallmarks of a level where if you screw up once, you're gonna have to climb back up this goddamn thing again. Of course, the bottom area is just chaos. These poor clowns have no way of stopping what is happening to them. These ones are bouncing, I guess, from cannon to cannon indefinitely. There's also a fucking clown running around the ring chasing a coin on a fishing pole, because comedy, I guess. And as soon as you collect it, he dies. I guess he's either been released from his torment, or me collecting it made him so disappointed he killed over and gave up on life. Of course, around the bottom area there are a lot of doubloons hanging around, and because I've been efficient in this world, I get the letter tile for collecting the right number of doubloons. Now, one of the letter tiles is of course named, not so endearingly, to the tippy top of the Big Top. Thanks. I hate it. So yeah, that means we have to climb to the top of the tower. Now I'm calling this a tower for simplicity's sake because I guess in platforming terms it is a tower. Although I guess this is a set piece. Look, if there's a name for whatever the fuck this is in the circus, do tell me and I'll proceed to give zero fucks. At first, I didn't know where I was supposed to go, so I was mostly exploring the bottom area until I found out you could climb into this one cannon, Mario 64 style, and aim and launch yourself onto one of the upper platforms, which I very nearly missed. Now it's mostly straightforward climbing this thing. You've got the typical jumps on the wooden planks, you've got some hook rides here and there. Nothing too complex either. You've got to kill some clowns on your way, and of course there's some jellyfish up here. One you have to get by balancing on dummy thick wooden beams to collect, but of course they had to put this one right in the middle of this smaller wooden plank, and whatever shit nugget decided to put a green jellyfish here with a 100-meter drop for added stress, you deserve to be slapped in the dick. Oh, but all of that still really isn't that bad, because of course this being the circus, you have swings. Oh god. The fucking swings. Even the sight of them, I feel like I'm going to throw up my lunch. And I didn't have any. And these are just the first set of swings you encounter. Of course, I missed the first jump onto the next swing, but really, is it my fault when the bloody swings are out of sync from each other? Meaning one swing is slower than the other, so you have to be fucking patient and wait until the right moment to jump. And when that moment comes, just hope you make it. Otherwise, fall to the bottom, try the fuck again. Fall to the bottom, try it again, fall, and then the camera decides to fucking do this. The fuck even. But like I said, this is only the first. With this one, it's just patience, and I admit it was wearing thin after a while, but I eventually got through it. This one, however, well, my first impression after jumping on it the first time and then promptly falling off was, what? What the fuck happened? And of course I fell on this pointless beam here trying to find a way to drop down, and I see a hook, I miss it, fall to the bottom, fuck. Anyway, I get back to that swing finally, and then it just all goes smoothly. Fine, whatever. And so then I find myself in front of a cannon. This is also where the jellyfish from before is. And when you go into the cannon, there's a pretty obvious target you have to aim at. And luckily, I didn't have to shit my pants over anything because finally, we get the letter tile this wank of a level was building to. To say that I'm relieved would be an understatement of the century. So I'm almost done with everything in this world, except for a letter tile, which, shows up later. I don't know when exactly it's supposed to activate. Either way, we're going to come back here after we're done with Goo Lagoon. But I've still got some doubloons to collect. I guess I'm torturing myself again.
1 moment later.
Okay, so I've searched damn near everywhere around here.
5 minutes later.
Oh god, please don't tell me I missed it somewhere in the Big Top.
10 minutes later.
I've been here before, haven't I? Yup, I think I have.
1 hour later.
They say the very definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
That might be the smartest thing he's ever said. Never thought you'd be the philosophical type.
What is a philosophical? That sounds like it would hurt.
And right on cue, back to the ass and astronaut.
1 annoying search for doubloons later.
Oh, come on, this is bullshit. I don't know where this goddamn doubloon is. You gotta be fucking kidding me. The last of the coins, like a couple of them, hidden amongst 2 balloons, were at the fucking entrance of the area. I even fucking blinded it when I first entered the level. If it wasn't obvious enough, I'm sure Stevie Wonder could have collected them by now. And it's still only 99%. Oh, goody, I fucking love this game. It's my favorite of all time.
Yar, don't be so hard on yourself, lad. Why, I lost both me treasure chest and me map one time. I must have searched far and wide, and they were all in the last place I looked to. It was right under me bed, so look, I was just trying to put some wind in your sails, boy.
I know, and I appreciate it. Shut the fuck up.
You're a fuckwit, you know that, right?
You want some too? I wish this didn't matter to me. I really do. I wish I could just forget about it and move on to the next stage, but I can't. Do you have any idea the agony this causes me? I swear this is why I have anxiety. Not for any legitimate reason, not for some past event or whatever. No, because I can't find a certain fucking collectible is hidden somewhere, and I spend time of my life I could be doing other things, useful and productive things, searching for it. And, oh my god, there they are, hidden in some balloons. Again. Okay, we're done. We're fucking done. Let's move on before I get a fucking hernia, hemorrhage, and hemorrhoids all at the same time. I'll start with the letter of the day. H. Could you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Time to go back to Bikini Bottom. Well, now we can give all the jellyfish to Larry, talk about all the ways we can use jellyfish jelly to Larry, cause him to abandon his faith in the almighty muscle gods, and then take his bus ticket so now we can finally enter Goo Lagoon. So here we are. And a quick look around here, there seems to be quite a bit we're gonna have to do. Already I can see windmills and sand dollars, so we've got a fourth collectible now. And upon exploring,
Hey, no running on the beach!
But mate, now you're running on the beach. What kind of stupid fucking rule is this? That doesn't apply to you? Yeah, these lifeguards are apparently enforcing a no running rule on the beach, and more like a no existing at all rule, and will just beat you up without any remorse. Alright, fine. How about I just walk past you, and then is that alright?
Hey, no running on the beach!
Oh, really then? So what do you class as running? How about I tiptoe on the beach? Does that fucking satisfy you, Arnie Fishinator? What the fuck, you steroid wanking ass muncher? I was going as slow as it allows me, you shit knuckle. Fuck you. Oh god, I didn't know you had a fuck buddy waiting in case you failed. Jesus, what is this? This should be illegal. I don't think they're lifeguards. These are thugs. They just don't fucking like you. You're yellow, you're square, full of holes, and you smell like a goddamn fish. So of course I'm going to defend myself against these pricks. Hit first, ask 0 questions later, am I right? By the way, every time you hit one of these lifeguards, they look as if you just punched them in the balls, so their death animation is kind of funny. Of course, they respawn when you come from another loading screen, and they keep saying the same thing every time you pass them. No matter where you are, and no matter what you do, it's...
Hey, no running on the beach!
Although sometimes it's...
Get off the beach, runt!
But it seems to not be as common as the other line. So just hit them in the knackers, and they poof into bubbles like all the other enemies in the game. This does accumulate into a fight with the big bastards in a little arena type thing, I guess. A bit of dialogue is exchanged with the small fucker, you hit them in the family jewels, and then lifeguard towers emerge out of the ground as they hear the call of Saruman, and it keeps happening with each big one you defeat. Just spam hit all the turds with your jellyfish net, and it's that easy. And then you get access to the towers as platforming segments to get to the letter tile on top of the snack stand here. Also, Larry is here.
Gee, Larry, this place is ocean swell! Thanks again for loaning me your extra ticket.
Well.
What the fuck happened to the text? Why did that, of all things, get corrupted? This isn't an emulator issue, by the way. This footage is from my actual PS2. It's like, he's speaking English in that scene, but the translation in Cthulhuese is... Anyway, the point of the conversation was SpongeBob trying to get the letter tile off him, and so Larry just runs away to find some peace and quiet at the lighthouse. Moving on, exploring the level, I kept seeing these windmills everywhere, so I figured I'd just put the reef blower outfit on again, and you know what, come to think of it, this music could have been the Goo Lagoon theme. I mean, you've got this kind of surf rock sounding music that honestly fits the beach aesthetic. Why is it that only 2 levels in the entire game have a theme? Instead of having a different theme for every outfit, could they not have just, used unique songs for all the levels? I know they did this in Battle for Bikini Bottom. I know, don't worry, I'm not going to go on a long rant. I'm just humouring this thought for a second. Anyway, the windmills. So it seems you got to use the reef blower on them to get the umbrellas to move, and they aren't all in just one area, so you got to get them all moving. And they don't stop moving, so you can put on your outfit with the gay happy music and jump on them, thereby allowing you access to different spots to collect jellyfish, a letter tile, and of course doubloons and sand dollars. It adds a bit of variety, I guess, but really, was it necessary to make them move with the windmills, or did you just want to give the reef blower another pointless use? So anyway, I do all of that, but while exploring beforehand, I did meet this guy in front of the gate, and he's the reason why we're collecting sand dollars. He's blocking access to the pier behind a $300 sand dollar paywall, and there's a shipment of magic bottles coming in that apparently is a good enough reason for us to want access. This is a little out of sequence, but of course I did all the collecting of sand dollars. Then he says the lighthouse needs to be fixed before the ship is to come in, so that's our next area. And the lighthouse is, well... Well, it's not bad. It's actually kind of interesting. The platforming is at least coherent. You've got some tricky jumps here and there. You've got weird hazards like fish opening a window in several places. It's very much like the Big Top in the sense that it's vertical, and making a mistake can cost you a lot of progress climbing it again. But it's a decent platforming challenge overall, and there are 2 areas separated by a lift that takes you to an upper area with giant floating jellyfish in a storm. The strange thing is, the switch to the lighthouse is at the bottom, which, I mean, wouldn't it have made more sense to, climb the tower to get to the switch? Add that extra bit of challenge? Anyway, once you've made it to the very top of the lighthouse, there's a letter tile there, and then you see it's not the only one, and you'll have to hop on all the jellyfish to make your way to another letter tile located all the way onto a cliff. And in between that, you'll see Larry again, but of course, after talking to him and hearing SpongeBob's song, he yeets himself off to a shipwreck to get away from him. So then we grab the letter tile at the other cliff, and we're finally done with the lighthouse. Only other thing aside from this pier is now we have to go back to the bus stop to sing to Larry again, which will initiate the next part where Larry will challenge us to fight him if we want to take his belt. Touching the anchor takes us to a shipwreck with a bunch of doubloons laying around for us to collect first, and then of course, once we talk to Larry, we're thrusted into the final karate object smashing minigame.
I know, the hype is just unbearable, isn't it?
And Larry keeps fucking exclaiming, "Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!" every time we hit him. Of course, when we win, we get the letter tile and he says the belt is ours, but then he doesn't relinquish it. So of course I have to verse him again because I ain't letting that lying bastard keep what is rightfully mine. And after him cheating at the start of the fucking match, you asshole, and versing him a second time, we get the belt. Anyway, once that's done, the only thing left is a letter tile on top of the crow's nest. Right, so now it's time to give the guy at the gate our hard collected cash and get into the pier. It's a linear platforming level. Easy to do, really. Not much in the way of hazards. It's decent. Smashing barrels for doubloons, hit lifeguards in the balls because they decided to be here. I told you they were thugs. There's some off-the-path areas with some doubloons to collect, and make your way to the end of the pier, where there's a cutscene of SpongeBob waiting for the boat, and of course the Flying Dutchman, like the pirate he is, scares the fuck out of the helmsman, so he abandons ship, and then the Dutchman commandeers the vessel, and promptly chases down SpongeBob and tries to kill him with it. A letter tile is there as soon as the cutscene ends, but don't be fooled, you can't get it right now. So we gotta run away from the Dutchman's rampage, and it's pretty easy to do, really. It's no... Oh, look, there's a doubloon I missed. Anyway, it's pretty easy to do. As long as you don't fuck it up, like I do here. Shit. The fuck happened to the death music? It just cut out all of a sudden. Well, it's back to the start. At least all the doubloons I collected are still in my pocket, I guess. So anyway, we make our way back and try again, this time trying not to do something retarded. Can I point the obvious out here? The fucking ridiculousness of this? The Flying Dutchman is causing wanton destruction of this pier, possibly injuring or worse, killing poor people in the process, though these fish seem fine, they didn't even move an inch. The Flying Dutchman, a ghost that really doesn't do this amount of destruction in the show, is causing probably millions of sand dollars worth of damage, all to chase you. And why is that? Ooh, I know. Let's have some audience interaction. Say it with me, ladies and gents, boys and girls, because he's evil! And now here comes the absolute worst part of the game, and I'm not even fucking exaggerating. Not for a reason that relates to something traditional like hard enemies, no, just the fact that this entire newly remodeled fucking area feels like it was cobbled together with no thought process whatsoever. Oh, and gotta do some collection. Good. Good. Good! Where do I even fucking begin with this level design? It feels like this was made by a troll. Like this is some kind of design someone would shitpost in Dreams, Game Builder Garage, or some weird indie game made in a random engine with asset swaps. Or maybe Spore Adventure Creator. Gee, that's probably something that doesn't come up very often, eh? I'm fucking convinced the level designer threw a bunch of shit into his map editor, enlarged assets, gave them a spin, and just tested it maybe once and called it a fucking day. And to put the rotten cherry on top of this moldy cake, everything is surrounded by water. I mean, that makes sense, sure, but you have water hazard after water hazard after fucking water hazard that you just keep falling into because everything is either moving up and down or spinning in place, and you miss so many goddamn jumps because you lost patience after the 60th time you fucking fell in. You've got reused assets of boatmobiles, and yes, boatmobiles, not boats, just look at the wheels. That's supposed to be a boat that drives on the road underwater. You know, if this wasn't a SpongeBob game, I would sound like a deranged lunatic. Just go with it, okay? You've got areas that look like you can get to, but can't, and you think that maybe there's something over there, and if you can get to it somehow, but just maybe. And then there's areas that you're not supposed to get to, but can, and areas that you can get to in an elaborate way using a pointless fucking cannon that serves no fucking purpose. But to irk you into thinking there's a collectible hidden somewhere, you have to just use it right. But there's fucking nothing there. Don't trust it. Why am I able to be up here then? I don't know. Maybe someone didn't have a fucking clue what they were doing with this goddamn horsecock of a level. There's so many pointless fucking areas with nothing to collect in them. Senseless platforming segments that lead to fuck all. Dubious design and gameplay elements that make you question if you're even doing something right, or if it really was intended that way, or if it just wasn't fucking tested at all. Yeah, that's probably it. And then you start thinking why the fuck you're even trying, and that you could be playing a far better game right now. And then you wonder how the hell you got yourself into this mess, and why you're trying so hard to complete a 2-decade-old game from your childhood. And I don't want to question my life choices when I play video games, goddammit. That's why I play video games in the first place. Very soon, meaning in 1 bloody hour of searching the fucking place for doubloons, you'll realize.
They're not here.
God is dead. He died when Olympic developer of this game conceived the unholy fuckness of this place in order to torture the poor souls that would ever have the idea of collecting anything within it. The time I've given to this one section of the game, it's not worth it. It's worth it at all. It's an hour of my life that I'll never get back.
I'm still missing doubloons. Fuck me, not again. And I can't progress to the next level knowing I left it unfinished. I'm starting to feel that dreadful pit in my stomach again, that I might not 100% complete this piece of wank. You know what? Fuck this place. Fuck you, Sandcastle in particular.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Oh, Jesus. Kid, oh my god, I'm sorry. Look, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't even know. I didn't know there was a doubloon hidden in your sandcastle. You put it in there, didn't you? You fucking put it in there, didn't you little cunt? Wow, I can't believe I spent all that time looking for doubloons in that shit fuck area, and the whole time they were hidden in sandcastles where I thought were just there for decoration. I mean, why would I even think to check the fucking sandcastles when at no point at all did the game tell me I could destroy them? Now, this is out of sequence, but I did collect the final letter tile before I went doubloon hunting. I just thought it was appropriate to put it here. So of course, once you've collected it, you spin, you get the slide puzzle and treasure finding game, and this time you get a corset. Okay. And so, once that's finally done, I gotta return to Chum World to get the final letter tile there by chasing down Plankton, and I catch him in literally 7 seconds. Yeah, this feels insulting now. And then, of course, all the bullshit we did before in the other levels, and we get a back scratcher with a mummified hand. Yep. Then a cutscene happens where the Dutchman tells his crew to dump cargo over the side, which rains barrels inside SpongeBob's house somehow. I don't know. And also blocks the front door and bathroom door, forcing us to go out the back to find a cannon that's now in our backyard. So obviously, we use it, and now we come to the Dutchman's graveyard. And you better make sure you save before using the cannon, because there's no way to get back. The tonal shift to a linear exploration through shipwrecks, avoiding lava, hostile ghost pirates flying out of their graves, and skeletons, which share the same properties as dry bones from the Mario games, is something that really makes you feel that this really is the final stretch of the game. That doesn't mean we stop collecting doubloons, letter tiles, and jellyfish though, because they are everywhere to be found, and yes, like in Chum World, no matter what outfit you wear, the music stays the same. It's one of the more varied tracks of the game, actually, but yeah, Chum World and Dutchman's Graveyard, the only 2 levels that get a dedicated theme to them. So anyway, pretty much as soon as you walk into this world, you'll probably notice a ghost pirate that's more solid than the rest, and this guy has a little quest for booty to give us.
Avast, matey! Who goes there? Be ye here to steal my booty?
Oh, believe me, I have no interest in touching your booty.
Well, now that's just inappropriate.
To make matters worse, someone grabbed my booty while I was polishing this cannon.
Well, now that's just inappropriate.
So anyway, if we get him some treasure, he'll let us use the cannon right next to him. Well, don't worry, rest assured, I will find that booty for you. These are the jokes, everyone, no refunds.
We paid $9 for this?
I paid 10.
And it's fairly simple to do. It's just making your way past some ghost pirates. They're easy enough to deal with. They take 2 hits to kill, and you may as well do some collecting on the way to the booty. Then once you've found the booty, just don't drop it and just take it back to them. Like I said, simple. This then allows us to use the cannon to launch us to a wrecked ship where there's some collection to be done, and then we go to the next area.
Hold it right there, you thieving little scallop! Aren't you the one who's been digging around in my booty?
Well, now that's just inappropriate.
It was probably the Dutchman again. His booty is bigger than anyone's, but he still comes out here to get his hands on even more. He just can't get enough booty.
You know what? Neither can I. I deserve that. Well, I better give this guy some assistance.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And so we go off to find some more booty. It's straightforward yet again. There seems to be less to contend with this time, although Donkey Kong seems to have dropped by and is rolling barrels our way. Don't get hit and you won't lose the booty. Return to him and...
That sack was so big, I could barely get my hands around all that booty.
Well, now that's just inappropriate. Alright, hop in the cannon, get the jellyfish hanging out over here. Next area.
None shall pass, especially booty thieves.
No booty thieves here, just us pirates. Arr!
I could have sworn I saw someone who looked like you just before my booty was pinched.
Well, now that's just...
I used to love worming my booty in this place, but now I have no booty at all.
Well, now that's just... unfortunate. But never fear, I shall ascertain this treasure for you.
You wouldn't turn down some new booty, even if it came wrapped in dirty, old canvas.
Everyone wants more booty, no matter what package it comes in. And I'd much rather be playing with my booty than guarding this old cannon.
Well, now that's just Right, well, time to finger his booty. Find his booty. God damn it. Anyway, this time there's a lot more in the way of hazards. You've got a lot more dry bones like enemies to avoid, as well as this spinning Dutchman head that spurts out green fire and will hurt you if you get caught in it. So when you're carrying the treasure back, take care of not getting caught by all that shit. Once you return it and get the letter tile, you, of course, get access to the cannon yet again. You'll see a letter tile waiting on top of the spinning Dutchman's head, and I didn't miss it, but I still died a fiery death all the same. And then it's just a matter of trial and error, really, with getting over to the exit. But with a few deaths in the lava, Spongy Boy makes it eventually. And the next area, of course, has yet another pirate waiting for us. Alright, let me just assume something here.
Let me guess, you lost some booty, you want some more booty.
Gee, how did you know?
That's the way it is with you pirates. Booty this.
So, in a subversion of expectations, SpongeBob just outright says what he's gonna do and kind of intimidates the poor pirate. Okay, so, even though it's not as bad, the trouble with this entire area is that it's confusing. Again, it's got the same problem as the destroyed pier of Goo Lagoon. There's a lot of level elements that make you question, okay, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to use this to get up there? Am I doing this right? All I want to do is collect the fucking doubloons up there, and I'm spending all my time calculating the laws of physics and the limitations of gravity underwater to get there. You can try for ages figuring the best way to get doubloons up on the tower here, and you know what's frustrating is I can't even show you my half an hour or so of footage trying to work everything out, because just my luck, I lost the fucking footage for the first time I was in this area. Because for some reason, during the capture of my gameplay, my computer froze, thereby losing all fucking footage of it, including some footage of me looking around the destroyed pier of Goo Lagoon, looking for the doubloons there. So what you're seeing here is my second replay of the area after loading a fucking save that luckily was before I collected the last of the doubloons in Goo Lagoon. And yes, you heard that right, my second replay. I had to do the Dutchman's graveyard twice. This feels like a curse. It feels like a curse. I think I might have the curse of the Flying Dutchman. Stuck reviewing the same game for all eternity. And on top of that, I've got the curse of Long John Silver. A guy stuck in a fucking PS2 game case.
Say the wrong name again, buckaroo, and you'll walk the plank.
I'll show you walking the plank in a second. Just shut the fuck up.
That made a lot of sense as a comeback, you salty dog.
I'll be your comeback in a second. Anyway, when you're finally done with that bullshit, get the last letter tile, which, of course, will put you in the slide puzzle, and then treasure finding challenge, which takes you all the way back to the beginning of the Dutchman's graveyard. So, yeah, you're gonna have to track down the treasure from there, which you eventually find out it's back at the last area you were in. Further drilling in the pointlessness of this challenge. Anyway, once we find it, we get to see the Dutchman's mother, or maybe it's the Dutchman on a Friday night at Femboy Hooters. Fucking I don't know. And then we come to the absolute final of finalities in this fantastical finishing. It's the ship of the Flying Dutchman himself. We gotta save our friends all trapped in a trance, and we save save them by just walking into them and levitating them into a flying boat. All the while, there's doubloons to collect. We've got a couple of balancing acts to perform to get some of them. There are some areas which you can't really get to, and besides, don't have any doubloons in them. But anyway, once I was absolutely sure I collected all the doubloons on the ship, I saved Gary last, and then we come to the final boss of the game, and technically the only boss of the game really, the Flying Dutchman himself. Kind of a shame this is the only boss fight, at least in the traditional sense of the phrase. It feels like a boss fight, where you have to figure out what needs to be done and avoid getting hit and dying. The only thing that kind of sucks is the camera. If there were other boss fights in the game like this, I wouldn't have any complaints, but this doesn't feel like a final boss fight camera, you know? So anyway, it's simple enough to figure out what you gotta do. When the Dutchman summons all these bombs, pick one up, throw it at him, avoid all the other ones, avoid the pirate enemies he summons, avoid his attack from below, rinse and repeat. Then finally, when he is defeated, he drops the bottle, we pick it up, and banish him again. SpongeBob then rides off with his friends on the boat. And then it just ends. Credits. Alright, I've finished this crap. Now where's my shit, Captain Barbosa? You promised me treasure.
That's Soaring Neverlander to you. And well, I don't know. Are you sure you completed everything?
Yes, I did. Every single fucking objective. Collected all the doubloons, jellyfish, $7 were applied. Every single letter tile, all the objectives. I even did the Flying Dutchman ship, 100%. I didn't even know if it counted, but I did it. Other than that, it should count towards 100% game completion, right? Although you don't get anything for it. Nothing is there to be unlocked because there's no post-game content. There's no bonus content. The art gallery could have been an unlock. That would have been something at least, but it's there from the beginning. You just aren't given any indication that you 100% completed the game. As you can see from the proof of the ending, I beat it. So, Captain Hook,
where's me treasure, you scurvy dog? You watch it, boyo. Anyway, that's just it. I'm supposed to return to me ethereal form. The curse should have been broken.
Clearly haven't. You mean to say I completed this game for no fucking reason at all? You know how long it took me to find some of those doubloons and jellyfish?
Hold your capstone, let me think for a second. The only other thing I can think of is that maybe this isn't the only game you're supposed to finish. And, oh, codswallop, it seems I may have made a slight error. I think part of lifting the curse was completing every SpongeBob game released till the unlucky year of 2013. Perhaps I was drinking a little too much Ghost Rum and I didn't listen to that part.
Right. You mean I gotta cover every single SpongeBob game that's ever come out? Is that what you're saying?
Surely you've got to be kidding. Have you not got any power after at least one game?
I guess I'll try something. Maybe part of my powers have come back at least. Alright.
What the fuck happened?
He fell.
Is he dead? He's a ghost. How the fuck can he die again?
There might be a slight problem.
Oh my god.
Don't you dare say it.
Say what?
Well, that's a change. I'm happy for you. You're a fucking pony now, dipshit.
I don't like your tone of voice, little action doll.
Oh yeah? Well, at least I'm not a little girl's toy.
If I had me full powers, I'd turn you into a bimbofied Barbie.
You can't do shit, moron. You can't even change into a bootleg Chinese Fisher-Price pirate toy.
You're a made-in-China figurine. An imitation of a wannabe action movie hero from a bygone age of first-person shooter game.
Hey, don't you talk about making...
well, Captain Feathersword has a hissy fit. I think I might take this opportunity to talk about my thoughts about it. Here's the thing. I actually kinda like the collecting in this game. At least when I'm not missing one fucking thing. I suppose it's the right kind of addictive collectathon that I like. It's got the elements there, with the three main collectibles in the form of the letter tiles, the doubloons, and the jellyfish, and as much as I melodramatically put things, and I'll admit it does irk me when you hide collectibles somewhere obscure, it feels good when I finally collect everything in a level. Only thing I would have liked is a reward for doing so, but unfortunately all you get is the percentage and knowing that you did it. But overall, there are some really nice aspects about this game that you can definitely see where they were going with it. But there is a lot of missed potential. For example, the costumes. The only costume you ever need to use constantly is the jellyfish gear. The mermaid outfit and the reef blower serves no purpose other than to solve a few tasks here and there. mostly platforming bits, and that's it. The reef blower, and well, those few times, and just thinking of the more memorable moments, it's probably more like 5 times, including the minigames, you ever needed to use it. The Mermaid Man outfit sort of has its uses, but really if you're going to be defeating enemies, all you'd need to use is just your jellyfish net. I also wish the jellyfish net was just a standard ability, like something that you can swap on the fly, or even just a button press, and not something you have to go to one point in the level specifically to change into. And, of course, the bigger thing, the costumes weren't tied to the fucking music. I already ranted about that in the first part and a little bit in this one, but it really is irksome for me. Having said all that though, it's strangely a game I would consider charming in a way. It's not Battle for Bikini Bottom, but that shouldn't be a knock against it. It has all the elements that make a B-grade platformer what it is. Aside from that, when you're a kid, if the game has SpongeBob in it, you're probably going to forget all about the imperfections and just have fun. Because you see, this game does follow the tone of the show at least. Almost like whoever worked on it gave a shit about it. They appreciated the show, they respected the fans of it, and developed a middle-of-the-ground platformer around it. This was the first 3D SpongeBob SquarePants game, and a damn league better than some other SpongeBob games that have come out. I think, despite all my other criticisms, it deserves a bit of slack. And that's that, really. Overall, it's okay for being the first 3D SpongeBob platformer. You know, maybe without it, we wouldn't have had Battle for Bikini Bottom that followed it. And speaking about the show, it still remains to this day really special to me. I'm always rewatching the first few seasons now and again, and I love the memes that it spawned over the years and pop up from time to time, even now. I consider it one of the most iconic pieces of animation that there has been in the past few decades. It had its 20th anniversary recently, in 2019, and again I'm reminded of how old I am because of that. But just the feelings of nostalgia the show gives me, and even playing a game like this again, it makes me think of that time in my simple and innocent childhood. The house I was living in, the games I played, even the shitty Packard Bell PC I had, which I used to play SimCity and The Sims on it, Theme Park World, Civilization 3, Rise of Nations, and of course, the cartoons I watched. Whether it was on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or even the Disney Channel. And you know what? That's a good feeling. I hope you've got something similar to think back on that gives you warm, fuzzy feelings inside and puts a smile to your face, that makes you reminisce about that naive time in your life. No matter how old you are, it's those things that make us feel human. Anyway, no matter where you're in the world, no matter what time it is, as always, stay safe and have a nice day. Right, now I'm gonna probably call the Ghostbusters or something to figure out how to get rid of this bloody pirate. Useless.
Arr! That's nice coming from a washed-up sea urchin. A half-wit like you wouldn't last 10 minutes in the spirit.
Don't you dare call him a half-wit. He's a creative genius. He just takes time is all. Would you all shut the hell up? I'm trying to get lucky with this pink-haired sweetheart with the braid. Hey, baby, wanna see my sword?
Dude, that's the... You know what, maybe it's funny if
I like a woman that can fight me.
I'll see you in the next
Get
video,
down
everyone.
and dirty with the Duke.
Hello again, Sean the Extra Guy here. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for making it this far. It really did take me 3 years, didn't it? Well, either way, I hope you liked it. I hope it was worth the wait. And if you really did like it, please let me know down below. Share the video around, and of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. And you can also check out my Twitch, which is pretty much where I've been spending most of my time. I've been streaming a lot, so if you like to watch me play some video games and be a dickhead, you can go there. You can also join the Discord if you want to go there, have some fun, have a talk with me and other people, share memes, all that jazz, whatever you want. Anyway, I don't think I want to waffle on anymore. I'm gonna get started on the Toy Story 2 review. Oh boy. So, thanks again, and of course, stay safe and have a nice day.